Hello, Miss Amigos. This is Brendan back here with Rebekah Heishman. What's your channel name? Like Keto Tailored Health, right? Yeah,
Tailored keto health.
absolutely. I discovered Rebekah a year and a half ago in 2024 in the summer, and her story and testimony was just unbelievable to me. And you hear a lot of testimonies out there, but hers just made me think differently about a lot of things. And I started watching some of your podcasts and some of your interviews, and then obviously watching your channel because you produce some really good content out there. So Rebekah, like tell them like just quickly because they can go to your channel and watch other interviews to get your full story because there's a lot with your
Yeah.
story. But just give them like a quick little rundown of what you've been through and yeah.
Yeah. I struggled with my health for about 13 years. Diagnosed with osteoporosis in the sixth grade, severe mood disorders in seventh grade, chronic pain when I graduated high school. And eventually, I just quit the traditional medicine platform, worked with functional medicine doctors, and uncovered a plethora of autoimmune diseases, chronic Lyme. And I found that even functional medicine didn't have answers. They gave me supplements instead of drugs. But no one talked about food as medicine. No one talked about circadian health. No one talked about behavioral and lifestyle changes. And these are the things that really changed everything. I always say that God is the healer and meat is medicine. And so that's what I've been dedicating the last, since 2020, I've been full time one on one coaching, walking alongside other individuals who just feel completely abandoned by the medical system.
Right. And no, it's so powerful and we've been we've been working together. I've been working with Rebekah here for the past couple months, and I wrote a few notes down. But if I of things that we've improved in me, but if we sat here and talked about them all, we'd be here for
A
well over
long time.
2 hours. So so I mean, for me, because like it's so powerful, especially you having like the diagnosis from the doctors. Like it's not like an opinion or like, oh, I think I have this thing. It's like the central medicine system that everyone's in said, hey, Rebekah has this, and you've been able to reverse that and reverse you said pretty much everything, right?
Everything. Absolutely
Still
everything. Yeah.
thriving.
Yeah,
You are
I'm thriving beyond what I ever could have imagined, honestly.
yeah, that's all. I almost wish I made a video a couple videos ago talking about I actually love a few times like when I go to a doctor's or a dentist appointment because I get to like kind of see how it is, and like
Yeah.
from the different perspective we've adopted over the last decade or 5 years, and I think my diagnosis is from the doctor was like Raynaud's
Hmm.
disease, angular cheilitis. But if I had gone back over the last couple years, I think we would have got some more. And then I've
Yeah.
been on antihistamine. I was on antihistamines from literally like 3 years old, I think, 2 or 3 years old. So histamine was like always a problem for me from the get-go, from when I was
Yeah.
born, right? From when I was a baby. And just in the last couple months, like because I quit antihistamines 2 years ago, guys, and it was more like a moral decision. And but then there were some side effects, and we're having to heal through those. And just some of the worst skin and cracks and pain and mental things going on, eyesight, um, not being able to digest like meat, ground beef, fat, like at all, sensitive to salt, and all of these things. Even before I came to Costa Rica, a lot of people know I'm in Costa Rica now, but even before in Ohio, even in like a poor environment, like I was on my devices a little too much or stressed and working, getting my hands smoother than ever, like smoother than a baby's butt, and just like my feet, my skin, it's like, and the eczema psoriasis I've had it has improved like 97%, and it's life changing, and it's just so powerful and in just such a short time. But I just wanted to share some of those things. I mean, it's and also some detoxing episodes, like getting to
Mm.
see like, holy cow, what is coming out of my body? What's been in there for how long? My whole
Yeah.
life, decade. Eating junk food my whole life and living, like you said, a circadian poor environment. My first question was like kind of talking about like coaching and working with somebody because I've always been somebody who's a little tough minded. I like to like be self accountable, but just working with you so far, like having the power of kind of like a team,
Yeah,
striving
exactly.
together for a goal with somebody. What are your thoughts on like accountability and somebody who's sick and is healing and wants to get better?
Yeah, I mean, accountability is huge for people who are not as motivated or disciplined as you. Some people just show up when they know they're going to be asked, how did you do with nutrition? I think you are beyond that point. You were already well along the healing journey, but you needed someone to continue troubleshooting with you and help you to fine tune what you had already started. In some ways, I did need to like keep encouraging you, okay, you need to eat maybe smaller, more frequent meals or try the raw fat. But I think the most of the value has come from putting our two minds together, because when you're in the healing journey, it's just hard to see the big picture sometimes, right? And there's so much value, even for me. I still hire help. Like I hire accountability when I want to get back into shape after pregnancy. I will for sure pay someone to tell me how to work out, because that's not mental capacity I want to give right now. I am nursing a newborn. Everyone needs to be able to collaborate and get some accountability and support.
It, what I've noticed too is it kind of makes you bought in as well. Like on my end as like a patient or let's say as a business owner when I want to take a course or I want to when you pay when you kind of have to
Yeah,
when you pay it's like you pay attention and you kind of
it's
buckle
an
up and
investment
like oh
for sure.
you get results.
Yeah,
You it's all about seeing it as a 10x investment, exactly what you
yeah.
just said. So I want to get into some like health things, some questions, just kind of rip off and see what you think. Uh, we'll start off with histamine intolerance because that's going to be like what I'm posting about my journey, what I'm
Yeah.
going through and healing, and our great discovery here. But a lot of people when they go carnivore, they see someone like me eating all raw fat, raw meat, or a lot of meat. Uh, they start getting some histamine symptoms, and then there's also something called oxalate dumping. A lot of people get confused. Could you describe like the difference between two of those and like how you can tell the difference?
Yeah. Histamine is something that most people have dealt with. It could be you're allergic to your cat. That's a histamine reaction. We have 4 different histamine receptors in the body, and they're responsible for bone marrow production, stomach acid production, really important things. Histamine is a neuromodulator. So histamine's not the bad guy.
Yeah.
But a lot of people have histamine intolerance because for some reason their histamine bucket is full and it's spilling over. So they have symptoms like an itchy rash, hives, heart palpitations, drippy nose after eating. Skin issues is probably the most common. Anxiety can be a symptom of histamine intolerance. And that can increase when people go carnivore because now you're eating more meat than ever. And aged meat contains really high amounts of histamine. So do fermented foods. And so that doesn't mean that the meat is the problem. It means, why is your histamine bucket spilling over? Is it because you have a DAO enzyme deficiency, vitamin C, copper deficiency? These can be all roots of histamine intolerance, mast cell activation syndrome. Whereas oxalate dumping comes from, it's a toxicity issue. Oxalate is a poison. It's found in plants. It's an anti-nutrient, and it's literally tiny little crystals that can embed themselves into every cell of your body and wreak havoc. And so people with the background of like veganism, especially, they're going to have high oxalate toxicity. And so when people cut oxalate out of their diet, they start detoxing from it. Only when they remove it, they start detoxing from it. And when that detox happens, it can actually trigger histamine intolerance. And so sometimes you're healing, you're detoxing, but it triggers a histamine reaction and you think, what am I doing wrong? I experienced this so many times. What am I doing wrong? I'm eating non-aged meat from frozen, all the things, but I'm still waking up some days feeling like I got hit by a train. It's part of the process sometimes, but 2 completely different things that can share a lot of the same symptoms. Oxalate dumping, you're going to see crystals. Like some people see crystals come through their skin. You might have foamy urine. You might have like sand-like stuff build up in your eyes. That's what I got when I woke up. It was like sand crusted on my eyes. It's literally oxalate exiting your body.
Yeah. What do you think about dental calculus or also like how long some of these oxalate symptoms go on for? Can
Oh
go on.
yeah, you can be dumping for up to 10 years, according to Sally Norton, who is the pioneer on oxalate. I definitely believe her. I've worked with people who are heavily dumping with like migraines and UTIs for up to 2 years, no matter how much we're trying to bind it. And working with a lot of individuals with severe oxalate dumping and histamine intolerance, binding the oxalate is very important, and then keeping the histamine at bay is very important. And so if you're doing those two things, you should be able to manage the symptoms, but they can be really intense. And I believe that for up to 10 years, we will be detoxing. There's a reason your body is taking its time. If you were to detox it all at once, there would probably be a Herxheimer reaction. That's why we need to let the body move at the pace that it wants to.
Yeah. Would you say also like those who heal their histamine intolerance quicker, or maybe didn't have it as bad once they transitioned to this way of eating and living, potentially also dump their oxalates a little quicker or a little healthier, like
Yeah,
smoother?
definitely. I would definitely say so because the histamine is a big part of it. And when you're having constant histamine intolerance, it revs up your central nervous system and it actually downregulates your detoxification ability.
Yeah.
So histamine itself can present an interference if it gets bad enough.
Making the process a little longer. And
Exactly.
I'm 22 years old, and I just kind of got on the right track probably 2 years ago, I'd say. So I got 20 years of, however long it'll take to heal. If we're doing the right things, it'll be quicker. But understanding, like, guys, it takes time. Like,
Yeah.
it takes time. But it's so tough, right? Because we live day to day, and sometimes we get impatient. It's really tough, especially with some of the symptoms you're having. It's like
Yeah.
it gets really tough with making good decisions throughout the day. I also wanted to an improvement we made that I've pretty much never had good bowel movements my entire life. From the time I was a kid, I remember I missed out on a fun day where we're outside playing sports all day at school because I got to school and was so bloated that I needed Miralax. And my
Wow.
grandma picked me up from school, so I missed the whole fun day. I was
Wow.
so bloated. That was a memory I had a couple of days ago. But with you, when we started adding like raw fat and increasing the ratio, and keeping things smoother and a little calmer with manageable meals and lifestyle, holy cow! I think I had like my first ever 7 straight bowel movements, like back in October, September, like for the first time really in my life. Like
Yeah.
waking up in the morning, going number 2. So what do you think about bowel movements? Like, should you be going at 2 p.m.? Should it be in the morning when you wake up? And how often should it be?
Good question. I do think in the morning is appropriate because looking at our circadian rhythm, cortisol is spiking in the morning. That can get your bowels moving. But also, you've been sleeping all night, which allows you to rest and digest. And so I think it is appropriate to be going in the morning. Frequency really depends on the individual. I personally think once every 48 hours is appropriate. But there are carnivores who have been carnivore for 7 years and they only go once every 5 days. I'm not going to say you're doing anything wrong. It's just interesting to me. I still go every day. And I think that anyone who's on the healing journey, especially if you have any type of candida overgrowth or actually any type of toxicity, you need to be having regular bowel movements. You need to be detoxing. Otherwise, it's just recirculating.
Yeah, I mean, I'm getting, like I've told you, I've been getting a few mornings of like plaque on my teeth that I've never seen before in the mornings, and also still having some white at the back of my tongue that I see. And I'm like, we're there's plenty more to be coming out, and
Oh,
I'm
yeah.
doing
Oh,
better
yeah.
and better as more and more stuff occurs and goes on and comes out of me, which is incredible. What we've also found out was the importance of salt.
Yes.
So I was somebody who I looked at, and you're well acquainted with Steak and Butter Gal. I remember watching her video, and I think it was Danny and I can't remember her name, Kelly Hogan. That interview, those two like salt. So Steak and Bella, and those two videos about salt. And when I tried it, it was like, okay, I felt a little I felt a little better right away, but I also, looking back, was having 3 pounds of ground beef a day, aged meat, things like that. And then once we got to like raw fat and real cuts of meat, all of a sudden I realized, wait a minute, I don't have enough stomach acid. Like, my body cannot digest this. It hasn't ate real food for 22 years. And then we introduced salt. Next thing you know, 2 weeks straight of bowel movements for the
Yeah.
first time ever in my life. So tell them, go deep, go deep on salt.
It's my favorite, maybe one of my favorite topics. I like talking about salt even more than fat because it's so underrated. And people, even in the carnivore community, who understand, oh, you need enough electrolytes, you don't understand how much you actually need. People are not grasping, first of all, electrolytes. It's not just for stomach acidity, it's for our brains. Our brains run on electromagnetic frequencies. Sodium is essential for insulin sensitivity. How many people have I worked with chronic high blood sugars? You're just chronically dehydrated. You need sodium for insulin sensitivity. Colon cells require sodium. Healthy colon cells require sodium. It plays so many different roles. And then it also increases your stomach acid production. So anyone who struggles with digestion, you feel like your food sits like a brick in your stomach, consider your sodium intake. And the funniest thing is that most people I work with are like, I'm sure I'm getting enough. I always say 2.5 teaspoons bare minimum. That's 5 grams of sodium. Everyone's like, oh yeah, I'm pretty sure I'm getting that. And then they track and they're like, I'm getting a quarter, like, 3/4 teaspoon per day. And that's it. No one's getting close to what they think they are. I've worked with one client who actually was, ever. The sodium piece is just so underrated. And I cannot explain why some zero carbers do zero salt. I cannot explain it. To me, it's like it must be genetics. But I'm also wondering how much better could they feel if they actually did start adding sodium? It's essential
And
for
slowly,
everything.
and
Yeah,
slowly.
slowly is the key.
That's what we found out, right? Because so my little testimony with salt and us working together was slowly increasing it, because like I would increase it and then feel worse because my body's like, man, what's this? But then we find a baseline. Oh, all of a sudden my brain's, like what you said, my brain's firing and thinking sharper than it's ever done. Oh, when
Yeah.
I back off the salt or I miss salt a day or two, I'm actually more bloated. I'm actually more gassy. I'm digesting worse. My brain is slower. I'm more heavy because the meal sits in me more.
Yeah.
The salt just keeps everything moving. And then when I'm waking up in the mornings now, it's like movement. Boom. Here we go. And detoxing. I don't even know. Did you mention detoxing in there? But through all those
No, that's a
pathways,
good point.
through
Yeah,
all those pathways, that's how you're detoxing.
exactly.
And you have to, with your
Yeah.
brain, be feeling good to make good decisions to keep the detoxing
Yeah.
and keep the histamine down and low. What do you think about fat? So you mentioned fat there as like maybe your second favorite thing. Like why when Rebekah, have this 100% pasture-raised, grass-fed, Costa Rican, yellow, rich-looking raw fat, does it just taste like sugar cookies when I was a kid?
It's because it's everything that your body needs. It is a security blanket for your body, your healing body. It literally makes your body go, like such relief. Cholesterol is a precursor to all of your sex hormones. The saturated fat is an abundant energy source, so the body feels supported and safe. It doesn't spike your blood sugar like carbs do, so it keeps inflammation low, and the type of fat that you're eating matters. There's a big difference between pork fat and the beef fat that you're eating, especially the grass-fed stuff. That has stearic acid, omega-3s, conjugated linoleic acid. It has so many nutrients that are just incredible for your mitochondria. It literally helps to repair damaged mitochondria. Our mitochondria is everything. When we talk about quality of life or energy, your mitochondria are everything. And not to mention, it's an efficient fuel source. Like people always talk about just fat being fuel. That's just the tip of the iceberg, you guys. Fat heals and seals your gut. It is the primary lever of detox in the body. When I talked earlier about letting the body detox at the rate that it wants to, it's called lipid therapy. It's an actual thing that's been going on for a long time. It's just covered up by traditional medicine. Saturated fat is a detoxifier. It will push toxins out of your body, and it will protect and support your internal organs in the process. Your liver needs a certain amount of fat just to regenerate. We need fat. Our gallbladder needs fat, or else we end up with stones. I could just go on and on. But that's why it feels that way, because your signals are working properly enough for you to recognize what your body loves. Like you have enough intuition now to say, my body loves this and it's craving it. When people are so sick, like they're just jumping into this, they might have aversions to fat. One, because they're not producing enzymes to digest it or bile to digest it properly. Or two, because their body is still screaming for sugar. And so that can be really hard for some people at first, but that doesn't mean that it's not for you. It means that your body is just focusing on sugar and we need to get it away from the sugar.
Yeah. No, it's amazing. I think just the power. I mean, the powers that be. I mean, I believe in God. I know you believe in God, and it's almost like it was just made for us, wasn't it?
100%. God has provided all that we need in nature, and traditional medicine has taken it apart. What do? They accuse sunlight, they accuse salt, they accuse saturated fat, they accuse red meat. These are all the things we need. And they push isolation and independence when what we need is community and each other to be serving one another. It's totally intentional.
Are you still affiliated with Billy Doe Meats?
Oh, yeah, forever.
Yeah. So there's a little testimony out there, guys. If you want to find out if you have toxins inside of you, go order some lamb chops from Billy Doe Meats. Go to Rebekah's channel. Use her code. What's your code, Rebekah?
Tailored.
Tailored. Go to Billy Doe Meats. They're based in Illinois. They ship anywhere in the Midwest, literally like 1 day shipping. Like you order it, it's at your house, and like it's Amazon practically in the Midwest, at least for me.
Yeah, in the Midwest.
Some lamb chops, they're literally, in terms of calorie ratio, 2 or 3 to 1 fat to protein ratio, and you'll find out very quickly if you're eating like too much protein, and then if fat will detox you. Holy cow! Because or if you can handle fat and digest it.
Exactly.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, let's talk about, maybe on this channel, maybe not a lot of women watching at the beginning, but maybe in the future, because we look at women versus men. I mean, women are twice as fat in a good healthy way, right?
Like, whoa. Yeah.
They're twice
In a
as
good
fat.
way. Yeah.
God made them twice as fat. So how important is it for them to be eating more, maybe fat? Talk about the fat and protein piece for women.
Yeah, for women, we have more complex hormones. Okay, men, you got testosterone, you got a couple things going on, but you can get away with lower fat, you can get away with more, men in general, because women have just such more complex hormones that require cholesterol. They require saturated fat. And so that's why women, if your body is going to be fertile, you need some hips. You need some hips. That's fat, sister. We need some healthy body fat. And I'm not saying overweight. I can still see my abs when I get pregnant, but I still have that essential body fat. And that comes from eating enough saturated fat, especially when you're not eating carbs. I prefer saturated fat over carbs, even though I've reintroduced carbs before, because it's more efficient. Like the saturated fat has nutrients, it has cholesterol, it's feeding my sex hormones, it's keeping my body in a safe place, whereas carbs are just an energy source and they can cause inflammation. And so we need a lot more fat, especially eating this way with low carb. A lot of people think that 100 grams of fat is a ton of fat. It's not. Okay, if you're eating 1 gram of protein per pound of healthy body weight, you're going to be needing at least 200 grams of fat if you're eating 100 grams of protein. If you're on this for a healing journey or fertility or sustainability, if you're a woman, 1-to-1 fat to protein, like equal grams, that is a weight loss diet. 100%. If someone is hormonally stable, 1-to-1 is a weight loss diet. That's a ribeye. That's fatty bacon. People think these are the fattiest things, but they're not. And to your point about the lamb chops, then you can talk about fatty. Once you've tried Billy Doe Meats lamb chops, that's like a 2-to-1 fat to protein ratio. And that's really closer to what we should be getting.
A few quick testimonies there with protein, fat, and women that I know, family or relations to me. Like I cooked a steak. I remember I cooked a steak for my cousin one time. She's a girl, and there was like this big of a fat cap at the end on the ribeye.
Yeah.
And she cut it off, and like it was like off-putting to her, and it was this big, right?
It's the best bite.
What you say, like 1-to-1 ratios is like bare minimum for certain things and healing. It's
yeah.
Like, what 99.9% of our society is not even getting
Not even that.
that
Totally.
piece of fat or the marbling that's in the middle.
Yeah.
High protein, high sugar, or
Yeah.
or low moderate protein, high sugar, low moderate fat. Well, the wrong fats. High the wrong fats, low the good fats.
Mm-hmm.
So speaking about like women as well, I had a you're 8 months pregnant.
I am, yes, I'm close. I'm due in February. So I have about 8 weeks left, 8 or
Weeks left.
9 weeks.
Okay. Also about my girlfriend. I started getting her to eat some more meat like a year and a half ago, 2 years ago. At first, 2 bites of meat, full, tired, can't handle it, done.
Wow.
Right? Years later, I'm seeing her eat like fat or a steak, and I look over and I'm like, the plate's gone. What happened? And she's like alert, and I'm like,
Yeah.
so it takes a lot of time though. You've
Yes.
never
Yeah.
eaten real meat, real food. It's like it takes time.
It takes
But
time.
she's a tiny woman, Rebecca, and she can handle meat now.
Yeah.
It's a beautiful thing.
That's amazing.
Talking about pregnancy, same lines with the for women. What's one tip? What's your number one tip now? Because this is your
Yeah.
second time. What's your number one tip to women out there who are thinking the way we are about lifestyle and diet and our overall health and beliefs for the best pregnancy possible? Obviously, nothing's perfect, but the
The
best.
one tip is actually to become fat adapted because a lot of people come to me and they're like, I'm pregnant now and I want to switch to carnivore, mid pregnancy. That transition is pretty stressful during pregnancy. But if you can become fat adapted and metabolically flexible before you get pregnant, it's going to really, really help you out. You will likely have less nausea. That nausea comes from blood sugar roller coasters. 100%. So if you can have a stable blood sugar, be fat adapted, have your body just running on fat, the first trimester could be really easy. And then if you're eating plenty of fat as your primary fuel source, again, that cholesterol fuels all your sex hormones. So you shouldn't struggle with progesterone levels or anything like that that's changing. Your thyroid will feel supported during the pregnancy if you're fat adapted. You have a backup fuel source. The thyroid wants to feel safe and supported. So that's actually my number one advice is get fat adapted and metabolically flexible before you get pregnant. Because once 28 weeks comes, we are more insulin resistant than we will ever be in our life. That is a really good time to keep the carbs low and run on fat for fuel. But if your body doesn't know how, you don't really have a choice. You have to keep eating carbs and then you get gestational diabetes. This happens all the time. So I think, just explore low carb, metabolic flexibility, high fat before you get pregnant. And it should be a smooth pregnancy. I mean, of course there are exceptions, but that is the biggest difference, I think, is when the body actually knows how to use fat for fuel.
Yeah, I'm really passionate. We got one more question for you, Rebecca, but what I'm really passionate about. People might call me crazy, a 22-year-old guy passionate about like women's pregnancies or health and medicine, stuff like that. But I mean, how many women I know, older women, mothers, aunts out there, who, man, if you don't go to a hospital, like, it's like just thinking about back in the day when everyone didn't have health problems. I mean, weren't women just laying down, squatting down? I don't know all the specifics.
Yes.
We were just out in the wild. You just gave birth. Here's the kid. But they all died. All the mothers died after they gave birth. It's like, well, how do we have billions of
It's
it's just
crazy.
central medicine
Yeah.
propaganda that they just use certain lines and then they all repeat it. All the
Oh,
women
yeah.
repeat it to each other, and then I actually watched some podcasts with Nisha Berry and you,
Oh, yeah.
and there was another one as well, someone who's given birth or was about to give birth, and just all the things they push on you when you're in that hospital bed. Like, you
Yeah.
have to be so disciplined and so strict with your protocol. Last question, Rebecca. For somebody who's not feeling good, they know they know they can thrive more out there in life. They know they can feel better, have more energy, get more done, like we've talked about, right? I've been getting more done. My brain's firing. Like,
Yeah.
stuff's getting done. I can be there for my people. For those type of people who want that for their life, what's the number one most important thing they should do and implement in their life?
I think the number one most important thing that is relevant for most people here is to get real with your nutrition. Like, get real with honoring your body. Actually, it's not just nutrition, it's your light exposure, it's your thoughts, your mind, whatever is going on in the dynamic in your mind, your belief systems, and your habits with food. So, like, get real with honoring your body. Stop making excuses. We all have excuses. I had my excuse. Well, I'm doing keto. It must be that, like, I wasn't willing to go carnivore for so long because ketones and glucose and, we're all making our own excuses. If you just really take a step back and surrender to the fact that we are fearfully and wonderfully made, just open up your eyes and start to align yourself with God's beautiful, perfect design. It's all provided for us. Nature and sunlight are free. We can get proper nutrition, and it's much cheaper, actually. If you stop buying all the crap and the plants, it's actually very affordable to get really high quality meat, if that's really all you're focusing on. So that, if I just could summarize, it would be get real with honoring your body.
Yeah, it sounds like, consuming the right things, and it's not just, it's consuming the right things.
Yeah.
All.
Yeah.
Whole spectrum of consumption. You said
Yeah.
your mind, what you consume on your phone, devices, the people around you, your community you mentioned earlier, your faith, and then the beautiful power of nutrition and nutrition of the sun and getting outside. Beautiful, Rebekah.
Yeah. Thank you so much. Oh, my pleasure. I wish we could go on and on.
I'll drop all your, you don't need to tell them, I'll drop all your
Okay.
links down where they
Appreciate
can find
it.
Guys, go check out Rebekah. She's really changed my life and changed the way I think about things, and she also just gives a beautiful message and just is always positive. You're always positive. You're somebody like.
How are you?
We talk about there's so many carnivore influencers. Sometimes they get dogmatic at each other, but like you look at everybody like so positive, or keto, or people who are health focused for the most part, right? Very, very positive people.
Yeah.
It's how it's supposed to be.
Yeah.
Thanks
Totally.
for playing, Rebekah.
Thank you. I'll see you soon.